of fresh faces and people you don't really know. And I think, Quincy being P. Diddy's son, he's more familiar with, music industry and things like that. So, he had to make the best decision for him, for his career. And I think it all works out. We got to see him in another project, which is really good. So, yeah, I think so. And he's got a new show coming out too on BET. So I'm gonna check that out and see how that goes too.
Okay. We're almost done here. A lot of new shows are getting ready to come up along with the return of, I think Being Mary Jane comes back in October.
Yes.
Hopefully
I'm
you maybe
excited about that.
right. Maybe you'll come back and talk with me on that one. Like we already said, Empire's coming back. Scandal's coming back. It's a lot, but every year we have our new entrants into the weekly lineup. Anything you looking forward to that you come across? Your husband has a show coming up.
Yes, Rosewood. I am definitely gonna check that out with more chestnut. It looks good. It actually looks good. It looks like a procedural show, but something different that we may have not seen before. So I'm interested in seeing that. I want to see The Leftovers. It's not a new show, but I haven't seen it yet. So
yeah, I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to get an eyeball on that one just yet.
Yeah, I know Regina King is coming in to the second season, so I think she's a pretty great actress. So I'll check that out. And then I want to check out Young Buck. That's gonna be Will Packer's show. I think that's coming out in the spring though. And then the Carmichaels. It's already on, but I haven't really gotten a chance to watch it yet with Loretta Devine and them. So I do want to check that out as well.
Is that the one with my man from Living Color?
Yeah, Damon. Yeah.
I cannot think of his name. He's one of the actors with three names. He was Eddie's sidekick in Boomerang.
Greer. Shoot, now I forget his name too. Something Greer.
Yeah, was it Alan Greer? David Alan Greer?
Exactly. Yeah, David Alan Greer.
Look at that teamwork.
But yeah, so I heard it was pretty good, so I'm gonna have to check that out as well.
I just before we got on here talking, I just realized that the Carmichaels was out, and I am kind of high on that one. I was not a big fan of Blackish. I watched that.
Really?
Yeah, I gave Blackish about 3 weeks, and I only laughed like 2 times.
I like Blackish. I think it's just it gives a different feel versus like an Empire or Being Mary Jane. I think it's funny, it's cute, a little family TV or whatever. But
I didn't get the best connection between him and Ross.
Yeah, I agree.
That really hasn't synced in for me just yet. I may come back to it, but I'm gonna rock with the Carmichaels. I'm gonna check out Rosewood. I'm thinking about. I'm interested to see what the player with why is my brain so bad on these? Wesley Snipes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be on Empire.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Was that Malik Yoba that beat him out?
No, he was supposed to be Lucius, but Taraji really wanted Terrence Howard. So
okay.
And then of course we heard that Monique was supposed to be Cookie. So who knows?
Wow. Yeah. So and then there was another show. I don't think it's Flashpoint, but it's some lady, I guess, is dumped in New York City with a bunch of tattoos on her.
Oh, on NBC. Yeah, I just saw a preview for that. That looks pretty good, too. I'm going to probably check it out as well.
I'm just scared of that one because maybe 5-6 years ago, it was a show that came on with, and I tried to find the name before we started, but it got too late and I needed to get online. But it was a show about something about time stopping. And Angela Bassett's husband was on it, and then it was kind of a bunch of new people. It was the show that one brother that committed suicide a couple years ago, he had started on it too.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name either. It's yeah, I know what you're talking about too.
But there was something about time stopping or something,
Yeah.
and the whole world stopped it, for 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
And I followed that show, and it was so interesting, and it just seems like they kept making the plot deeper and deeper and deeper, and then by the time, it got to the end of the season, and I think the ratings have started waning also, they just ended the show really on some stupid stuff. Like it was totally ill-conceived and poorly thought out and poorly executed. And it's just like some of these shows that have this totally new way of telling a story, I just don't know if they ever, and another example is Resurrection.
Oh, okay.
I tried to give it a shot, and it got deeper and deeper every week, and it just seems like at some point in time, you're hiding the show from your audience, unfairly.
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe next time we talk, I'll know what that show is, but I'm looking into that one. Any shows besides Empire, any mainstays that you've been following the last 2 or 3 years besides Scandal or How to Get Away with Murder or Being Mary Jane?
Yeah, well, Grey's Anatomy, of course. I'm a big Shonda Rhimes fan, so I've been sticking with that show. In the past, a lot of the shows that I watched was like Revenge, that's going off. Survivor's Remorse is in their second season. It's a really good show as well.
I'm liking that one.
Yeah, and then the American Crime Story. I mean, that was new, but I think I'm gonna check it out again. I think it was pretty interesting.
That was with Regina King, right?
Yeah, yep, and she's up for an Emmy as well. So
because of that show?
Yeah.
I thought that show was pretty interesting. I couldn't find a soul to talk about it with, but. And, it kind of was an edgier show in terms of the language, and it was kind of graphic. I like that show. I was looking forward to checking that one out.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I watched, The Orange is the New Black is pretty good. I still like that show in Nashville.
Okay. So, you kind of said, and I forgot, you said you were more likely to just tune in with your shows and not really using the streaming or on-demand stuff right just yet?
Well, I usually will binge or on-demand just because I work in the evenings.
Okay.
The only show I really try to get is, my TGIT, Scandal, Grey's, and then, Empire last season. It was just really good, so I would always try to catch that on my lunch break.
Okay. Now, do you think that one issue with the 20 plus episode shows, do you think one issue with them is for any newbie that's coming along in the second or third season? It's extremely hard to go back and binge watch the shows that have the 22, 24 episodes. Do you think that's one fallback on that format?
It can be, but one thing I do like with Empire, I know, is they're on Hulu. So people can kind of try to catch it up even if they miss it. But it's so good, I think even with the extra episodes, people are just they'll end up watching it all day. I know they had the marathon the other day. I've seen all the episodes, but here I was sitting there looking at
right.
Like, oh my gosh, the day is about to be away from me here. So it's really good. So I think even with more shows, people would still binge. And plus it's going to be split up, they're going to take big breaks. So people have plenty of time to kind of catch up.
Okay. My last question, and I can get you out of here. Again, thank you for your time. What's your long-term outlook for the show? I mean, do you think it could, I know right now around 5 years is kind of the threshold, unless, Grey's Anatomy is just totally on a whole different level with the number of years that it's been around. But, do you think that this could be something that, I know some shows, people are just resigned to the fact that it just feels like being done in 5 years. Mm-hmm. But do you think this is something that can extend beyond that, or is 5 years probably going to be a good place to leave it?
You know what? I would like to see it go 10 years. Hey, why not? I mean, I love for it to get in the syndication, and I don't know, the story, because it's so soap opera-esque and it's about family and things like that. If they do it right, if the writers really, do it right and flesh it out, it could go for a while, because there's always going to be stories about music and entertainment and family and things like that. But it's going to really depend on what they're doing this season, if they're going to slow it down a little bit, if it's going to get too cheesy or corny, because sometimes these shows just get boring. And so hopefully they'll bring in fresh faces, fresh writing perspectives and things like that, really good directors, and I'd like to see it go the full distance, as this first kind of full black cast with, black directors and things like that. I'd love to see it do pretty well.
Okay. One last thing I want to see is, and I thought it was a good thing that they brought Courtney Love in to kind of show that there was other genres of music on Empire. Mm-hmm. I know they mentioned something about a clothing line and probably even a film segment and all that stuff, but I just felt like it was good that they interjected a little bit of, we do have other musical acts. I think one thing for me moving into season 2 is that it may be, I don't know how much time they can spend on it, but it might be interesting to see what Barretti's, his one character we forgot to mention in depth was the wife, the ex-fiance, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That went over to Barretti. So that would kind of leave... Right. I believe that might set that up to see what's going over there, as the competition,
Yeah, I think that could actually be pretty interesting to the story as well.
Because you mentioned one thing, you just mentioned survivor's remorse, and the one thing that started to bug me about that show is we haven't seen a basketball be bounced on that show, and it's about a basketball player.
Right.
So, anyway, hey, I appreciate you coming on. I hope it was somewhat enjoyable for you. I hope you would like to be a friend of the show and at some point come back and contribute some more. Seems like we have a lot of different mutual, shows that we share interest in. So I'd like to get your perspective on some other stuff.
For sure. Well, thanks so much for having me, and I'll definitely be checking out the show more often.
All right. Like I said, I cover a lot of subjects. Everything is not for everybody, so but I got a multitude of interests, and I prefer to tell a lot of different stories than just football every week. So everything may not be for you, but hopefully here and there something does appeal to you, and I look forward to interacting with you on Twitter, and I'll see what your perspectives are on the what Empire brings this year, as well as being Mary Jane, and I may try to give Scandal a second chance this year. I might break down and do it.
You know what? It might be hard coming in at this point, but
I thought about that
because it's one of those shows that's kind of gotten a little boring at pieces, but hopefully this season will be good. But yeah, thanks so much for having me, and I look forward to hearing more of your shows and talking to you in the future.
All right, and anybody that's interested in learning more about Jasmine, you can find her, like I said, on Twitter at JDOAKES. That's Jasmine Dokes. And, we'll talk again. I know you said you're getting ready to go to church, so I don't want to hold you up a second longer.
Yes, thanks so much. Have a great evening.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
You are listening to Hey, with show host Wood.
Hey, we're back. About to close this out. Not much is going on in this Vikings game, this Vikings Frisco game. The black uniforms, kind of adjusting to those for the Niners. Quickly, I wanted to clean a few things up. I used the word synced in that interview, and that's not a word. That should have been sunk. The new TV show that I was talking about is actually called Blind Spot, with the female with the tattoos. I think Rob, the cat from Finding Forrester is on that show, and I kind of like him, so I'm interested to see. He wasn't included in the trailer as usual, but I think his name is Rob Brown. But I want to see what he's going to do on there, and just, I'll try to give that show a shot. It's in New York City or something, so it looks interesting. And